By the end of this lesson, you're going to understand more on the elements of drama. By the end of the lesson, you're going to know how to create, write, and answer your close reading project. Because we're going to cover the elements of drama, we're going to do some drama flashcards together. We're going to talk about the Reckoning, and we're going to talk about the Reckoning graphic organizer. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to draw your attention here to the left-hand side of the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, can you see this thing that says File 12 here? Can you see this thing that says File 12? And now I'm changing it. Yes? Okay. Well, the reason I have this for you is because you can see that this particular, video that you're going to be watching, okay, just a moment. Okay, so here on the left-hand side of your screen is pretty much everything I'm going to be covering today. You yourselves can go over and quote-unquote grab them. You can grab the elements of drama video. You can grab the elements of drama, which is actually in your course, but I'm still going to show it to you today. You can grab The Reckoning. I've actually saved it as a PDF in case you're having difficulty reading it. I've also grabbed the graphic organizer. That's really going to help you answer the questions, but there are several questions right after the reading, which I think will help you a whole lot. And then I have the elements of drama. Oh, yeah, I have another elements of drama here. I think I actually redid that one. But so those are pretty much a pretty basic thing. There's a lot of information, but it's only a few items that we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to go back to the video, and I'd like you to listen to that. So just a moment, please. Elements of drama. And here we go.
Okay, before we get started with the Midsummer Night's Dream, we need to talk about the elements of drama. So first off, let's give you a good working definition. Drama is a form of literature that is acted out by performers for an audience. It includes a script, which gives the actors words and cues to perform the dialogue, actions, and gestures of their characters. Now, within this script, not only are you going to see their actual words that they say, but you also see stage directions that tell them how to perform those actions, what to gesture towards their interactions with other characters. Drama is going to differ from other pieces of fiction because it's meant to be performed. It is supposed to be on the stage. So the elements of drama. First off, there is the setting. The setting includes the scenic design and the props. They provide meaning and historical context to what the characters do and say. So for example, in A Midsummer Night's Dream, a large portion of it is going to take place in the forest. So the scenic design would be a forest. In regards to props, there are fairies in it. So we're going to, see crowns, Queen of the Fairies, and magic wands so they can wreak their havoc. The lighting and costumes also are going to add to the setting. So if the tone is supposed to be something that is dark and mysterious, the lighting is going to be dimmer. If it's going to be something that's like a festival or a party, the lighting is going to be a lot brighter. The costume as well are going to contribute to a time period or a state of mind. For example, we're going to have one of our characters who wears an ass head because he is turned into a donkey. So that's going to be, another fun element that we have to A Midsummer Night's Dream. So elements of drama also follow plot, just like they do in fiction. The plot is the way the play is organized. First off, it's going to start with a prologue, the exposition, which lets you have an introduction to the characters at the beginning of the play and to what's going to be happening. Then it moves into episodes. Episodes are the acts and scenes within a play. Acts are comprised of scenes, so scenes are much smaller than acts, and that's where the dialogue and the action are going to take place. And every time our setting changes, either time or place, you're going to go to a new scene or a new act. So keep that in mind. When setting changes, we change the act or the scene. We're also going to see choric interludes, so we're going to see music. There are songs or odes that are performed after each episode, and these actually have a purpose. They serve to comment on characters' actions, express emotion, and explain the plot. Finally, there is the Exodus, and that is the final scene and resolution of the play. It's, the denouement, where everything is tied up nicely.
Okay, so I didn't go on and on with that one. I just wanted you guys to get an idea. And I agree with that whole sort of tinny, weird echo. So we'll just go on. I hope you guys can hear me. So I'm going to go here to Elements of Drama. Again, I think this is very, very exciting. So here we go. Let's talk about this. Okay, so we know that The Reckoning is a short play. The Reckoning is only a couple of pages long, as you know, but it is got a lot of information. So let's talk about this. Most of your synchronous survey will be drama terms. It won't really be about The Reckoning. It'll be for okay, guys, so here we are. So dialogue. Dialogue is basically two people speaking. One person speaks, then another person speaks. But dialogue can actually be more than two people speaking. It can be anybody in the scene, and you'll see that right next to it. So we've talked a little bit about denotation and connotation in other courses. So this is kind of how I think of this, you guys. Denotation or denotation is the dictionary definition of a word. So I remember it as dictionary. Denotation, dictionary. They both start with the letter D. So I think that really, really helps a lot. Connotation is the feelings that you associate with a word. So something is cheap is a negative word, but if something's a bargain, it's good. It costs a little less. So can you guys think of anything that might be maybe a connotation? I'll try to think of something. Let's see. Yell. Yell might have a negative connotation, but talk loudly would not. So that kind of thing. So you'll have those to know. The air outside is refreshing. The air outside is chilly. Stage directions. They're often printed in italics and enclosed in parentheses. Acts and scenes. Scenes are just a little tiny bit of change by setting. But acts are whole groups of scenes and times that change. Whoops, I went backwards accidentally. Excuse me. An audience is the people that the drama is being presented to. So you pretty much can't have a play or a performance without an audience. And that was that, just very, very quickly. I just want you to, so let's do some flashcards here. And let's see how much we know. Again, because it's the synchronous session, this is about learning. This isn't what, I don't expect you to know every single thing about it. So here we go. So guys, here's my question for you. The series of events that takes place in a play. There are 6 stages of it. Faith, Jonathan, Letty, what do you think this word could be? The answer's actually in the question. Play, I like that. That's a really good thing. The play is, and the answer is yet a different answer, but that's a really good answer. Yep, plot is correct, but play is not bad at all. So this is the event that starts everything off. I'll just help you out with this one. It's the exposition. Okay, so this is the one. It's a series of events following the initial incident and leading up to the dramatic climax. It's the build. It's the going up. No one? It's okay. It's the rising action. So first of all, you have the exposition, then you have the rising action. All of this you'll be learning in your course this week, so we'll just get in a little jump on it. So this is the turning point or the high point of suspense. What is the highest point? The absolute tippy top? The peak? Where everything goes kablooey. That's right. Very good. Okay, this is what follows the climax. It's the opposite of the rising action. It's the very, very close. That's at the very tippy end. So it's between the climax. It's the opposite of the rising action. Yes, falling action. And then I suspect we're going to be coming up on your answer, Faith. So very good. It's the falling action. So this one you do not have to know, but I'm going to share it with you. This is often used in the theatrical setting, although less so in maybe the younger grades. This is a French word, and it's called denouement, so you may hear it at some point. So this is the time and place of a scene or action or event. It's the time or place. I'll give you a hint. It starts with the letter, I don't need to give you a hint because you have the answer. It is the setting. So these are the basics that I'm going to be asking you about. Very good, you guys, very good. The basic idea of the play, the message or moral of the play. I'm going to help you with this because we see this in all the stories that we read, especially in school. It starts with a T. It can be love conquers all. Don't be greedy. Yes, very good. Okay, so we're going to talk about the struggles and the conflicts. So I'm already going to help out here. This word here is conflict. So we're going to talk about that. The internal or external struggle between opposing forces, and that creates the dramatic tension. And there's only so many kinds, and we mix and match them, but it is conflict. And so we will go from there to find out more. So, can anybody help me with this? I'm going to help you with this. A feeling of uncertainty. What's going to happen? As to the outcome, it's used to build interest and excitement on the part of the audience. Some people might say there's not whole mystery novels written with this word in mind. Suspense. Excellent. You got to keep people interested, right? Okay. In conversation, in drama rather, or in a drama, the conversation between characters, two or more people talking to each other, very good. Okay. You don't have to do much with this, but I'm going to share this with you because this is a super fun idea. So, in Shakespeare, but also in other comedies, sometimes someone in a comedy is is in the scene talking to the other people, but then they turn their face to the side, almost, and talk directly to the audience. And I'm going to tell you why it's not monologue, because that's a really good answer. They talk directly to the audience, usually something funny or insulting to the other characters on stage. And it is quite literally exactly what it is. It's called an aside. Well, that's monologue. You're right. It is monologue. I'm a silly person. Thoughts aloud. Okay, very good. So I'm going to ask you Faith, thank you so much. I was thinking they were like turning to the audience, but so this is monologue. But let's talk about one other thing. So there's another type of thing where people speak alone. So there's a monologue is where people speak to someone on stage or to the audience. Do you know the word? I'm going to help you. It starts with an S, and you could spell it any way you want, of someone who was just speaking their thoughts out loud, like Hamlet. That's okay. I'm going to help you out because it's called a soliloquy. Soliloquy. And the soliloquy is a person who is just speaking their own thoughts out loud, like I said, like Hamlet. So this is the opening of a story that establishes the setting in the background. I'm going to help you out here. It starts with the letter E. It establishes everything at the very beginning of the dramatic arc. So you've got the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. What's the first thing? And it starts with an E. I know you can do it. That's okay. Let's do it. So we've got blank, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. As we established, there's some more things in there. The higher more in depth you go into theatrical stuff. But the very beginning is known as the exposition. The exposition and prologue. But it is exposition as well, I know. Okay, this is great. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here because I think that's boring. I want to remind you that this is, in orange, is where your recording and your survey will be. So now I'm going to go and share the document, and we're going to go and talk about the reckoning. Okay, have any of the three of you read the reckoning yet? Yes? Excellent. So you find that it has a little bit of suspense. You find that, so tell me, what kind of elements or what do you think of it? First of all, do you have an idea of what you think the theme is? Just throw it out there. What do you think the theme is for you? And I'll remind you that it can often be like a revenge. Very good. Don't hurt people, right? It will always come back to, it will always come back to get you, doing wrong. So the theme is revenge. Very good. So does the barber do what he's threatening to do? Does he slice the customer's throat? No. What in the end, just very quickly, what does he end up doing to him that is harmful to the customer? What does he do that is harmful to get revenge on him? He makes him miss his meeting. Excellent. In missing his meeting, what ends up happening to the customer? Yes, both of those are awesome. But at the end of the day, he is ruined financially. That's right. He makes him miss his meeting. The barber said that, so the barber knows that this greedy man will be miserable because he's ruined financially. So that is the way he enacts revenge. Very good. Very, very good. Now, isn't that interesting, Letty, that you say that? That's really, really one of the most insightful things I've heard from any student on this subject. The thing that was most important to the barber was what? I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to the barber, to the guy who is enacting the revenge, the guy who's in the shop already, the barber. His daughter, very good. Ooh, that's another great theme, very fast and quick. So, in order to be even in his revenge, he had to take the thing that was most important to the customer. So very, very good, you guys. So now we have this, and it all goes down to the end. And we have that big payoff, that ending, that isn't necessarily surprising to us, but it's very satisfying. So now I'm going to go to one more thing. I swear I knew that said to the audience an aside, not a monologue. So a monologue isn't always told to the audience. It can be told to the audience, or it can be told to somebody imaginary on the stage or somebody real on the stage. So anyway, moving on. This is the graphic organizer that is in your course. So you'll be able to keep some notes. So what is on the lines, the literal meanings, the denotation of everything, the denotation, which is the dictionary definition. So you're going to write your impressions. We've gotten further along, though. We've gotten further along. How is it organized? Well, it's very suspenseful. What sort of images? What sort of words? What persuasive techniques are used? Hello. So now we're on the third reading. Oops, it's arguing with me. And the fourth reading. Well, basically, we've covered a lot of the things that you want to talk about. You want to talk about the theme. You want to refer to words and that indicate what's going on, and also things that are implied, like the connotations. So within your course, you have some questions that come after. So what do we think actually happened between the customer and the daughter? And why was it so devastating? Remember, this is 1912. This was written between 1908 and 1912. Yes, he probably did take her away from her family, absolutely. And again, I want you to keep in mind, exactly. That's exactly what happened. He promised her marriage. He promised her a life, but he unfortunately just used her. And in 1908, 1912, any suggestion of that really did ruin a girl's life. And she probably, it is implied, we can connote, which is a weird word, the connotation, right, that she took her own life. Okay, just a moment. So we have done our several different readings, but with you guys we don't seem to need to. We know that the most precious thing of the barber's has been taken from him. And so we as human beings can always assume that human life is the most important thing of all. But in our customer's case, it's not necessarily. In our customer case, we know, based on some of your answers, what you have connoted, that it was money. So it was an equal exchange of revenge. Nicholas, it doesn't actually say that she did, but she was ruined according to her father, and she is not, and she doesn't is not spoken of in the present tense. So we can, I would assume, and others have assumed. Yes, thank you. He uses the past tense. So this is something you can use in your story, Nicholas. Faith is going to use that. And Faith, thank you for explaining. That he refers to her in the past tense, so we can assume the connotation is that she has taken her life. So these are the things. Be careful what you do. It'll all come back to you, etc. So I hope that the elements of drama can help you a little bit with this, because how things are said, there's pauses, there's suggestions of how the lines were being said, there's urgency of how the lines are being said. So there's a lot of things within this this world that are between the lines, which are a connotation. There's very little that is denoted. The denotations that I can see is that the barber and the customer are always in the same place. But very quickly, we as readers begin to understand that the barber is following the customer. So we switch from the denotation to the connotation. Very little in this story is actually denotated. So I think you all have done such fantastic work today. If you need any assistance with a reader for the, remember you can always go to TTS Reader. If you have any questions on is anything? If you have questions on things, please make sure that you contact me. So I'm going to take you back over here to the end of the session. Okay, I'm going to go back over here. And let's see if we've learned today what we expected to. So you have learned some elements of drama from me and some from your course. We worked on some drama flashcards. We talked about the reckoning itself. We talked about the graphic organizer, which I actually don't think at this point you guys are going to need. So make sure that you do. I will be sending out before the end of the day. So I promise you before the end of the day, which is about 5 o'clock, that your 7B Week 3 recording and survey. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact me. So at this time, I'm going to say, make sure that you are caught up, and if you have questions or concerns, please, please, please contact me. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Letty. Bye, Jonathan. Bye, Faith.